Welcome! Today's show is all about working with color. And to get started, we have Kathy Elkins from Webs, and we're going to talk about the big three: Intarsia, Fair Isle, and Slip Stitch.
Hey,
welcome back!
Hi, good to see you, Liz. How are you?
Good to have you here.
Well, I'm excited to be here to talk about some color work. We find in the shop a lot of our customers are often very intimidated to go much beyond adding stripes to their projects, so I think this will be a great jumping off point for those people out there who have never attempted color work. I'd like to start with Fair Isle first. I think that's one that's very commonly known. I think everybody knows the Fair Isle sweaters. Fair Isle is also known as stranded knitting. It's most commonly done in the round, but the terms stranded and Fair Isle are pretty much interchangeable. Usually it's two colors being carried across the same row, and while one color is being knit, the other is being just that, carried, stranded behind. This back piece here shows a very clear example of that. This is the inside back of a project, and as you can see, the strands are all going across, and all of your ends end up at the same spot on the garment. So it's easier for weaving in the ends when your project's done. What happens with the stranding, though, is it does add a little bit of bulk to your garment because there's all that extra yarn behind. And I just wanted to show this project very quickly where you can see this pillow was done, and then we used the same pattern and felted it, and you can see sort of how it changes it a little bit.
And then we have some techniques for decreasing bulk, if that's what we're looking for.
Well, not necessarily decreasing bulk, but it does. The next technique, Intarsia, gives you a completely different effect. Intarsia you can liken to painting on a canvas. You can do anything with Intarsia, whereas with Fair Isle, you're pretty much staying in the same row before you change colors only within the same row. Intarsia can go horizontal, it can go vertically, it can go diagonally, and it tends to be much larger scale projects. Like, for example, you see these flowers. You know, this is just all over your knitted project, and you're following a chart to do this. The difference with Intarsia is that this is the back of a piece, and you can see it's a little scary looking.
We'll take care of that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it'll be a little extra work weaving it ends, but the effect that you get from doing this type of knitting is really incredible.
So we have the painterly canvas.
Absolutely. And then last that we're going to be able to talk about today is slip stitch or mosaic knitting. And this is actually one of my favorites. I tend to be a pretty black and white kind of gal with color values and whatnot, and I love geometric shapes and whatnot.
Contrast.
And that's exactly what mosaic knitting is. If it's going to be mosaic, it has to be geometric shapes. And again, it's light and dark values, worked over a course of 2 rows. And again, this is the back of a finished piece. And again, you'll see all of your ends come together on the same side, so you don't have quite the same overwhelming weaving in as that you would with an Intarsia piece.
And to review, which is good, we have a little exercise over here to show the techniques in action.
Flock. Yes, I brought the flock.
You brought the flock. So we have here in the front.
That sheep has been done in Fair Isle.
And then we have our
Intarsia.
And finishing with our slip stitch.
Right, and the border was done in mosaic slip stitch knitting as well.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for getting us started and really giving us a visual sense of where we're heading.
Well, thank you for having me. It was a great fun.
Terrific. We'll move on next on location, where Kim is going to be with designer Kristen Nicholas, who is an incredible colorist.
Knitting Daily has been sponsored in part by Webs, America's yarn store, a source for knitting and crocheting yarns and supplies. Yarn.com.